I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Back on this rap-ish, I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't miss my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own, tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues. Guess if you ain't at the table, you on the menu. And I'm that spitter, baby, they don't want you to see, but everybody's south of Capitol Hill's rocking with me. Boys smoke the trays and ponder getting their life together. I'm comfortable with my role, so I'm like, whatever. Me? I ain't got a job, but I work hard. And you don't work hard, but you got a job. The irony is I'm judged while you feel the applause. I'm slept on, that's why I had to set this alarm. My dude is armed, I'm armed with this arm charm. Body banging like she got that cream from Barry Bonds. Yeah.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
That Dre season is here, a real hitter with a mic, I'm everything that they fear. With that hood ain't the same, I was all on their ass, I'm level-headed. So yo, my dudes love when I spaz, and I'm so over Seattle's passive-aggressive attitude. They don't call you back, what they really saying is F you. While I'm from the same place, I move at a different pace. I prefer if you just said it to my face, damn, I did it.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Average dudes with they average spit, writing average rhymes, knocking average chicks. The closer I get, I can feel the people starting to shift. I'm loyal to a fault, and everybody can't come with. Rap's a rich man's game, I'm only playing with change. They bang models and singers, I'm knocking my own flame, I'm different. The crowd, I move with the chosen few. Black thoughts, I could be the front man for the roots. No diamonds and gold, I'm on my sticks and stones. If we can see your panty line, you should have on a thong. My team is strong, through this fire we forged a bond. And they already know what it is when I get on. To the hearse, party like it's December 31st. When I'm on my deathbed, I probably cracking my nurse. You ain't got the bars to compete. I'm a verbal athlete, deflating these boys so they say that I cheat. Damn, I did it.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Yeah. I should probably start by apologizing for the long wait, man. You know, I know I be tripping. But I'm not just a rapper, I'm an artist. And, you know, my creative process is a little bit different than most. Nonetheless, I want to welcome everybody out to the Dre's Experience. I got TCF in the building. My whole camp's here with me. I got the band in here laying this cool-ass vibe. And I'm Seattle's own. Let's get into it.
I just want to live. God protect me. I just wanna live. I just wanna live.
Welcome, everybody. Happy Wednesday to all y'all out there. Welcome to the Morning Update Show. I'm your co-host, Trey Holiday, and we got a packed, nice show for y'all today. Lots of information to be bringing y'all right here in the Emerald City. Y'all know we do this as a duo. Got to bring in my guy, Big O. What up, Big O? Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday, Trey Holiday. It's good to see you.
It's great to be seen, my friend.
Yeah. People only knew, right?
Yeah, right?
Oh, man. You know, we got a great show lined up for today. We've got King County Elections Director Julie Wise in the building. And if you guys know, I mean, Director Wise is always a favorite here on the Morning Update Show because her passion about voting is so infectious. It's impossible to be around Director Wise for more than a few minutes talking about voting and you not want to go vote.
No, I mean, seriously, the way that she brings her passion to her work, it's like seeing people living in their purpose in that regard is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, no, fantastic. And then also we're going to be joined by interim OPCD Director Rico Quirindongo.
You got it.
Of course. And so we'll be talking to Rico and a very, very, very special guest here to Converge Media and the Morning Update Show, Vivian Phillips. Yeah. I mean, when you talk about Vivian's contribution to our community over the years and even to today. And what an amazing connector. I know that like on the title it's like art consultant and art advocate, but I think that a proper title for Vivian Phillips is just a connector of good people.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad that both of them will be on today. I mean, people are seeing that amazing art right there at Midtown, so it's going to be great to get into all the details with them about how that came about.
All right, good stuff. Again, welcoming everybody right here to the Morning Update Show. And want to remind you that right now is the perfect opportunity to tag and share the stream. Go ahead and tag and share the stream with people who you feel would appreciate culturally relevant news and information emanating from right here in the Emerald City. Want to give a big shout out to our partners over at the South Seattle Emerald and also KBCS 91.3 over at Bellevue College. Remind everybody that you can listen to the Morning Update Show anywhere that you listen to your favorite podcast. We've got SoundCloud right there in the links, and look, it's there on the screen. But also Google, iTunes, Spotify, some everything else. Bill Radke from KUOW yesterday tweeted out that he's paring down his number of podcasts that he listens to, and he was like, man, you got to make sure Converge is in the list. So, we're serving the public on the podcast platform, which is working out well.
It really is, man. Every time we get these reports and every time we hear people, somebody was just telling me, man, I don't always get to see the show, but I'm now tuning in to the podcast. So it's great, man.
Yeah. Want to remind you, like I said, in matter of fact, Trey Holiday, can we get the wide here real quick?
Here we go.
Can we get the white? The ballots were mailed out today. That's right. They're working overtime down there on Grady Way in Renton. Ballots are in the mail, and that's what we talk about. So this is a big deal here today. And I bring this up because now it's election season, and it's about that time for no excuses. And a great way for you to support Black-owned independent media while also letting people know that election season, we're not taking any excuses, is to visit whereweconverge.com/shop and pick up a No Excuses t-shirt or sweatshirt today. No excuses.
No excuses, man. We're going to continue that message because the truth of the matter is we got to come at you nice and right. You guys know we keep it authentic, and there ain't no excuses right here for the Converge Media family. We're going to extend that to all of y'all out there, man. No excuses.
Yeah, no, for sure. Always want to remind people that the vaccine is free and readily available here in King County. You can get vaccinated, man, almost everywhere here. We put a link there in the comments for you. Trey Holiday, if someone asks you to Venmo or Cash App them for the vaccine, what are you supposed to say?
Absolutely not, man. It's free right here in King County.
But actually, public health, and it's in one of these PSAs that we play here. Public health will come to your crib if need be. They're like, oh, word? You're like, man, I got anxiety going to a testing center. They're like, oh, word? You know what I'm saying? Or maybe you might be in a situation where you're shut in and things like that. Then, the vaccine is out there. Speaking of the vaccine as well, we'll put this up here. What our focus around vaccine hesitancy, and we want to be able to tell the stories of what's going on here. We got a few up there. There's Omi, and then also rapper and producer Creeps, and that link is right there in the comments. And basically, we've been reaching out to our Converge family, and we want to know why you decided to get vaccinated or why not. And we're telling those stories there. And the best thing is as well is all these photos in there. It's more of a photo essay, and there's an audio element as well. But Jake Gravbrot's taking all the photos.
Oh, those are some great photos. I mean, even the ones that we just had up there on the screen, I knew it was Jake's work, man.
Yeah,
I knew it was.
Put that back up there, Cuddy.
Man. You know what I mean? Jake always brings his best and his brightest when it comes to it, man. He does something real special with lighting, and you can see those are Jake's photos, man.
Yeah, and like I said, we want to be able to give. I was in the barbershop yesterday. If you can't tell, I finally got chiseled up around here. And it was real conversation in the barbershop where, people like, man, I don't know enough about it, right? I don't understand it, or it's this and that. And it's there. And then there was the one guy who was like, yo, Don't trust the government for nothing. You know, if it was good for you, they wouldn't have to convince you. Ain't nobody got to convince me to eat an orange or a banana, you know. And so it was a wide range of thoughts and opinions there in the barbershop. And I mean, the majority of it came down to hesitancy around it and information around it and everything else. Now, it isn't our job to put shots in the people's arms or anything like that. That's not the role of media. But it is our job to be able to give as much information as possible. And like some of the stuff that they was talking about, I think was a bit fringe, but it's in the mainstream. But other concerns were very real concerns of like, you know, I mean, a lot hinged around trust of government.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, this is what we're talking about. I think, too, so many of the opinions I'm hearing out there is just that. I think folks are like, why are they pressing Black community members so hard? Why are they doing all these different measures? Now, there were scholarships attached to it if you get vaccinated. There was a lottery you could get put into if you're vaccinated. I mean, people are like, why are they doing all this? So it really does bring up, I think, a lot of those ideas around not trusting certain things and then wondering why they're putting so much energy into it. And some folks are like, it's not just about us being well, man. There's something else to it.
I mean, and you know, it almost is a kind of represents our legacy history in this country in a sense that, like, you know, on the flip side, there are people who are like, nah, you know what? They're pushing. It's like, man, you know what? Black people aren't going to be left out of a vaccination. You guys need to be intentional about your communication with Black people. You guys need to be whatever. And so then we see the results of that. But then a community is like, well, why are they trying so hard to convince me? But, you know, there's a whole nother side of when, man, usually when things do come out, where the last people that, you know, that are recognized, there's any kind of investment or communication and everything else. And so it's important to get to the bottom of it. Is the intentional effort around communication, because people are like, you know what, we're not going to be left behind. Yeah. You know, and so we want to be able to continue this conversation around vaccine and vaccine hesitancy, and we will do that. You know what, Trey Holiday?
Hey, what's good?
I've got to give a big shout out. We have to give a big shout out to Market Street Shoes. That's what we're talking about. Market Street Shoes right there, located in Ballard. MarketStreetShoes.com. Let me tell you about Market Street Shoes, and hopefully we're gonna get out there either today or tomorrow. Can you put us on wide over here? Yeah, you know, we need to step up our kick game over here. But you know, the people at Market Street Shoes are just so intentional in their support of Converge. You know, the owners are just amazing. And actually, they've been supporting. I didn't even realize it. It's back when we were on the bunker on the hill. Wow. Yeah, and they're just some good people out there at Market Street Shoes, and they've really been supportive in just their comments and their thoughts, and you know, and the follow up and everything else. So we want to make sure and reciprocate, and you know what I'm saying, and look out for people who have always been, you know, very supportive of Converge. Yeah. So Market Street Shoes, you guys be aware, I'm on the way. Now I wear a size 12.
I got 8.5 over here.
8.5, and one thing they're gonna have to look out for. Jake Graffbrough wears a 15.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna be able to take care of Graffbrough or not. Man, yeah, this is it's been interesting. And I'm looking forward to our conversation here today. And then afterwards, after today's show, we're actually going over to the State Hotel. I mean, another group or another company here that's been exceptionally generous to Converge. We held the 1-year anniversary party over there at the State Hotel. And so we're going to head over there. And the production crew here, they were telling me, they're like, Big O, the chicken sandwiches is on you, right? We haven't been to the Ben Paris restaurant over there at the State Hotel. So we're going to be over there later on today, grabbing some lunch and stuff like that. And I always tell people that, you know, Converge is here on air, and we're able to do what we do because of the kindness of individuals and particularly small businesses here in the Seattle area. And, man, we're ever thankful of you guys supporting us.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is one of the things that I really love to see, because the connectivity of the city is really felt right here at Converge. It's so funny when Big O and I are out there on the streets and people are just like, hey, Converge, hey, Big O and Trey. It's really is so much love, and businesses, local businesses, those small mom and pop shops that may be medium sized, growing, but they're really rooted in the location that they're in. They're rooted in community. And I really do feel the love from all of y'all out there. I just got to say thank you from me to you, because honestly, it is. It's a real thing where we can experience that love, man, on a daily.
Yeah, people know. Like, it was a true story. I used to be out in Ballard, man. I was eating my lutefisk as a kid. Me and my friend Thor. You know, we'd be out there May 17th on the kick. You know what I'm saying? I mean, of course, you know, I mentioned Ballard because of Market Street Shoes. And we were out there a few months ago, me and Jake Gravbrot and Eric Calligraphy, when we shot the Vanish in Seattle segment on Skull. So, you know, Ballard, we're on the way. Meet us at Market Street Shoes. All right, we're going to take a quick break right now. When we come back, I'm talking to King County Elections Director Julie Wise. You are watching the Morning Update Show.
Hey everybody, we all know that COVID-19 has had a major impact on everything this year, even energy bills. Puget Sound Energy understands the ongoing struggle that's facing its customers. And this is why they're offering a COVID bill assistance program of up to $2,500 per qualified customer. If you or anyone you know are currently behind on energy bills, please contact PSC today to discuss all of the assistance options available. Visit psc.com/COVID to learn more.
Hey guys, it's Besa Gordon from Converge Media. You can catch me on my show Rewind with Besa, which airs every other Saturday at 2 p.m. anywhere you watch Converge Media. Now, I know a lot of us still have questions about the COVID-19 vaccine. However, here are a couple things you don't have to question. Everyone 12 years and older in Washington State are now eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine. It's free, and you don't even need insurance or citizenship status to get vaccinated. If you still have questions, and I know you probably do, you can visit kingcounty.gov/COVID for additional information. You can also call the King County COVID-19 call center at 206-477-3977 to get COVID-19 and the vaccination questions answered, get translation services if needed, set up an in-home vaccination appointment for yourself or someone you know may not be comfortable at a vaccination site due to a disability, anxiety, or other reasons. Look, with summer being here, now is the time to get all your COVID-19 vaccination questions answered so we can all get out the house and live our best lives again.
All right, welcome back to the Morning Update Show. My name is Omari Salisbury, and I'm joined right now by King County Elections Director Julie Wise. Welcome back to the Morning Update Show on your first time here in studio.
It is so awesome to be with you all this morning. I love the energy here.
Yeah, no, you know, we're as passionate about media as you are as voting. You know?
We're a good pair then.
No, we're a good pair for people. I know Director Wise, and she's like, call me Julie. I was like, my mama be watching. My mama be like, you know you wasn't supposed to call her by her first name. It's an elected official.
I don't know you're talking to me. I need Julie, not Director Weiss. Who's that?
But, you know, like I said, you've been on the show quite a few times before. And before we get this interview going, I just want to acknowledge that every time that we've called, you guys have answered the call. I remember that at one point it was the removal of mailboxes the last election and things like that, and how it might impact especially elders in our community and their ballots. And I called your office, and within a day, me and you were together on air. And, you know, you guys have always been intentional about communicating with us here at Converge. I want to say thank you.
Absolutely. We appreciate the opportunity to be able to get the word out to the community to combat any misinformation around elections. So we really appreciate that you're always talking about elections and how important they are.
Yeah, no, people got to vote, huh? Come on, let's get this in for the wide shot right here. Yeah, and so we're waiving these ballots because tell us all about it. Today is the day that the ballots are mailed out, right?
Today is the day. We mailed 1.4 million ballots out to our King County voters, so you should start receiving it in your mailbox in the next couple of days. If voters do not have it by that Monday, July 19th mail delivery, they should be giving us a call at 296-VOTE because we can get another ballot out to them.
Right, and tell us, there's always people moving in and moving out and things like that, but if they're registered here and expecting a ballot, what are some of the things, one of the things that I found unique, you might expand upon, is I was able to track my ballot.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Isn't that the coolest?
Yeah, it was received, this, that, counted, everything.
We've partnered up with the post office to even provide more tracking so that you would even know approximately when it's going to be in your mailbox. We're like future readers here or something. So you can track your ballot not only as it makes its way to you, but especially when you return your ballot. Regardless if you use the United States Postal Service or a ballot drop box, we've got 73 out there in King County. You don't need a stamp, but you can track that your ballot got back in the hands of King County elections to ensure that your voice is heard, that your ballot is counted. So that's a really great way to make sure that nothing happened in transit with your ballot. If you don't receive it by Monday, if something doesn't show in the tracker as being received, we can always reissue another ballot to our voters. And again, we're always at 296-VOTE, waiting for your call to help you.
Wait. And I know that's the preferred method, 100%, but I do recall that last year, you guys were helpful to the general public, even around people tweeting in or anything like that, or issues that they saw. I mean, how proactive is this team down there at King County Elections?
Absolutely. Social media is a great way for us to hear of concerns, just fun pictures to share, to encourage people to get out there and register to vote and to vote. So, of course, hit us up on social media. We're on KC Elections on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, via email. Our website is a great tool as well. And we're in person, too. So we're always in our Renton headquarters, but we're also going to have 5 other vote centers across King County for this election. So Kenmore, Bellevue, Seattle, Federal Way, Kent. We'll be open on Saturday, Monday before Election Day, and of course Tuesday, Election Day, to help out voters. And you can get registered all the way up to and including Election Day in Washington State.
Now you hear this.
Mind-blowing.
Now let me, and I want to touch on one or two of those things too, because Washington seems to be a polar opposite of where a lot of, other states want to go. How did we do? What's the report card from the last election? I know you wanted to try to get it at 90 or higher. How did we do last time?
87%. That's darn close to 90%. It's almost a mic drop. Not quite, but we're getting there. I mean, that is record. In this country, that is record turnout. To have 87% of your voters show up for an election is mind-blowing. We've never seen any numbers like that here in King County. So I think we're on to something, right? When you remove barriers, you increase access, you make voting as easy as possible, and keep it secure at the same time. It's not a one or other thing. You'll get people to show up. Now, we just got to get them to show up like that for this election, the local elections. It's not just about showing up in the presidential.
Tell them why the local election matters.
This is about your day-to-day life. This really impacts those hard-earned dollars that you make, your tax dollars. The decisions about how those are going to be used is really done at the local level. We're talking about cities. We're talking about schools, parks, fire. So how fast you want a response if there's an issue at your home, policing, sidewalks, libraries, parks, all sorts of different decisions are being made at this local level. We typically only see about a 35% turnout in this primary.
Yeah, we got to step that up. And, I would say what's interesting for people here in the city of Seattle, particularly, but also in King County, is that if a lot of people came to the streets A lot of people made their voices heard by holding protest signs or marching and things like that, and even public comment and writing their elected officials. But if you're looking for any kind of change in the system, then your civic responsibility, they don't really teach civics like they used to. It's your rights and responsibility. It's actually your responsibility, you know, as a citizen here to cast your vote. And, you know, if you were looking, one of these people looking for change here in the system and everything else, make sure that voting is also part of your routine.
Yeah, I mean, I love your sports gear, right? It's not a spectator sport, right?
That's
Elections isn't a spectator sport. And you are making a choice by not voting.
That's true.
That is a choice to say, I'm going to let the other guy make the decision for me. And we don't want that. We want to make a decision about how our day-to-day lives are going to be impacted, how our friends, our community, our family, our children are going to be impacted by these decisions. So we can't sit aside and allow a 35% turnout. We have the most diverse pool of candidates running this election. More people of color, more younger people, more women running for office. A record number of people running for office. This is the time to get educated about those candidates and make a decision.
You said something real interesting there, Director Wise. You said that it's a real diverse pool of candidates. And, you know, for me, I've never interviewed this many black people running for office, you know, ever. But since you brought that up, almost on cue, but since you brought that up, let's go hop in the time machine here. And this is back from an interview that we had with you back on March 10th.
You know, we know, I hear it each election, that one of the key reasons why people don't vote in local elections is because they don't see candidates on the ballots that look like them or represent their community. So at King County elections, we recognize the disgraceful history of voter suppression that continues to disproportionately affect Black, Indigenous, people of color communities. And so not only do we want to encourage communities of color to vote, but we want to encourage communities of color to run, because giving everyone a vote and a voice is really fundamental and cornerstone to our democracy.
Now, I'll tell you, Director Wise, I pulled that clip out last night because, you know, I wanted to give you a tip of the hat and you guys at King County Elections, because months and months and months ago, you were very intentional, and you came here on this show and said, help us get the word out. We want more candidates of color to run, and we think that, you know, they might think that there's perceived barriers. How do we tell them how to run? How do we have workshops for them to run? How can we have virtual sessions? And even in that interview, you said, man, you know, we're going to have these sessions where it'll be virtual, and then they're going to be up on our YouTube page. And if you go there, like every single thing that you said that King County Elections was going to do to be able to make the pool of people running more inclusive, you guys have done that. I acknowledge that. I appreciate your efforts. And I've never talked to such a diverse group of candidates ever. You know, they're out there.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to dig into the voters pamphlet that's going to be coming out this week as well, right? Where we get to see the candidates write a statement to us as voters about what their intentions are when they get office, if they are elected. I know it sounds geeky, but I'm totally stoked to get into that newsprint manual, open it up, and start researching these candidates and make some decisions. I appreciate that. I really, truly believe that it is our job at the King County Elections Office, my job as the director, to really engage our community. If not us, who else? We've done a lot of things, from candidate workshops to prepaid postage to election day voter registration, from 10 drop boxes to 73. But we have more work to do. I'm proud of what we're doing in King County, but I'm not gonna lie, it's disturbing to see in 48 states over 348 voting restrictive laws in 2020 and 2021. That's saddening to me. I've been in this industry, I've been doing elections, nonpartisan elections for 20 years. And I'm proud of what Washington and King County is doing, but we have more room to grow here, but we really need to get people to turn out. How you got people engaged and help us get the word out about running for office, we need to do the same thing about our local elections and really keep that momentum from 2020 where we had an 87% turnout. Let's keep that energy, that drive, that excitement to turn out at the ballot drop box this election.
Yeah, no, it's important. And, it's disheartening to see what's going on in other places in America when it comes around this vote. And it's happening in broad daylight. I always tell people that, a generation or 2 generations ago, it was just physical intimidation at the poll. Your employer was sitting there, and basically you knew if they saw you vote, you'd get fired. Or maybe they're sitting there with a shotgun, or maybe somebody's burning a cross. Now, you don't even do all that. You just go to the state legislature and to suppress the vote. And I'm glad I'm not even glad, I'm proud to say I live here in Seattle and King County in the state of Washington, and the way that elections are handled here and this high level of transparency. And you've been doing mail-in voting for how long in this state?
Oh my gosh, in King County, we've been doing it since 2009. And the state for about 15 years has been doing vote-by-mail elections. This is a proven, secure, accessible voting system that's been done for over 150 years. So it's a bunch of BS about this whole, it's not safe and secure. We've been doing it for 150 years, it is.
I think that we're just in a state where we actually want everybody to vote. And sometimes people don't want everybody to vote.
That's fair.
So, because we're going into election season and because the ballots are out, we're sitting here now trying to figure out what Converge's unique messaging around the get out the vote's going to be. And so I'll play our ad from last year, and I'll get your feedback on it.
Now is one of the most important elections in our country's history. With a global pandemic, a withering economy, social change, and a lot of other crazy stuff. If you already voted, congratulations. If you haven't voted yet, get up, get out, go vote, and play your part in making not only our city, our county, our state, but our country a better place. Nobody likes an uninformed voter. Make sure and take your time to read through the issues on the ballot. I wonder if it's going to be Taco Tuesday on Election Day. Completely fill in the oval for each race using only black or blue ink pen. Vote all columns, both sides, and all pages of the ballot. Skipping a race will not invalidate your ballot. To prepare a ballot to send, place voted ballot in the secrecy envelope and seal the envelope. Sign the voter affirmation on the return signature envelope. Don't be like this guy. Make sure your vote counts by following all proper guidelines in preparing your ballot. Yeah!
Yes.
Yeah, I did it. I wonder if my other brothers voted. On a serious note, and on behalf of all my colleagues here at Converge Media, get up, get out, go vote.
So we got to figure out how to top that from last year.
That's going to be hard to do. That is rad. I love that video. I don't want to correct you, but you can use any color ink on your ballot.
Okay.
Pink glitter pen if you wanted to. I mean, if that's what you have handy, you can do that. And you could tape it. We would still count it. But I love the energy. I'm sorry. I'm such an election geek over here. I'm like, oh, well, it's okay to do that. But I love it. I love the energy. What are you going to do this year?
Man, that's what I'm saying. We're sitting here brainstorming now. I'm like, wow, we got to come up with something better. What I do think, though, is we're going to have quite a few this year. You know what I'm saying? We really want to do our part to get people out to vote. And I know one of the PSAs that we're going to do this year is just going to be of community, talking to community and encourage them to vote. And this is such a voting, and especially in our community, it's such a sacred thing that we need not ever take for granted. It's just a long history in this country. And when things work right, the one equalizing factor that we're supposed to have here in this country is that vote. It's that vote. And you hold it so dear and so precious. And, it's our job to make sure and convey that importance to our community and to the general public of how important that vote is. And a lot of people have died to be able to have this right to vote. And, I remember even as a kid growing up, sometimes my mama, she was, unimpacted by any of the candidates when she said, I vote for her grandmother You know, she was like, I'm voting for my grandmother and my mother, who, you know, they paid taxes there their whole life, but it was always taxation without representation down there in the state of Florida and Georgia and these places where my grandparents and elders come from. And so for us in our home and our family, that vote is something special.
Absolutely. Wish more voters looked at it that way. I mean, it really is, it's powerful. I mean, when you and I have the same power as the president or the governor, right? I mean, our votes are equal in that. I mean, we each get to fill in the oval on one ballot. So it is a big responsibility. I think, as going back to all the candidates that are running for office this year, it's a little daunting to run for office. You know, it's a little bit scary. But I think this is a really great, exciting time to check out the primary ballot. Don't you want to have a voice in the top two? Because that's what we do here in Washington State. The top 2 vote getters go on to the general election. I don't want to just show up in November, whoever everyone else picked as the top 2. I want my favorite to be in the top 2.
You got to be in the mix. Director Wise, once you look into that camera right there and tell all the people all the information they need to know about these ballots, how to reach you guys, and some of everything else. You'll tighten it up.
All right, voters, 1.4 million ballots went out in the mail this week. You should have your ballot by Monday, July 19th. If you don't, give us a call or email us or go online to our website, kingcounty.gov/elections or 296-VOTE. You can register if you don't have a ballot and you're not a registered voter. You can register all the way up to and including Election Day. We will have vote centers around King County. Again, those are located on our website. They'll be open Saturday and Monday before Election Day, and of course, Election Day. We've got some long hours there, so you can come in the morning or later in the evening as well. Voter pamphlets are also going to be headed out this week as well, so that you can familiarize yourself with the candidates and the issues. But don't be tardy to the party. You have to have your ballot in by August 3rd, either 8 p.m. at a drop box, there's 73 around King County, or in the mail. Either way, you don't need a stamp. And then track it. Go to our website, track your ballot, make sure we receive it. Don't forget that all-important signature on the return envelope. It doesn't have to be legible. It could be a scratch. It just needs to match the signature that's either probably on your driver's license or your state ID, because that's what's on your voter registration record. King County Elections is here to help you. So if you ever have any questions, do not hesitate to check us out on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at KC Elections, or give us a call, again, 296-VOTE. We're happy to answer any questions. Happy voting. Get out that voter's pamphlet. The cool thing, and y'all put this in your video too, and vote by mail. You could vote solo at home with a cup of coffee or wine, or do a happy hour, or when you're just outside walking. I don't know, you could do it anywhere, anyhow. That's the cool thing about vote by mail. So make sure that your voice is heard. You're too important. You matter, and we want to hear what your choices are for candidates and ballot measures this August 3rd primary election.
All right, there it is. You heard it from the director herself. There you go, Curtis. Let me get this camera. The most important thing Director Wise said was, don't be tardy for the party. King County Elections Director Julie Wise, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me. I love being here with you all.
Fantastic. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Trayana is sitting down with the OPCD director, Rico, Quirindongo, and Vivian Phillips. You're watching the Morning Update Show.
Public Health, Seattle, King County, Zero Youth Detention, along with our partners from across the South King County region, are committed to reducing violence and creating the conditions needed for our neighborhoods to be safe and free of crime. Too often, the response to crime and violence has been a piecemeal approach with a program here and a program there. When family units collapse, schools fail to educate, the economy fails to produce jobs, and crime rises, we've looked to law enforcement and punitive measures to save us. Nothing could be more wrong or further from the truth. Law enforcement can't shoulder all the burden or take the rest of us off the hook. We are acknowledging the lived experiences of Black, brown, and indigenous communities. We are centering community as the experts who can effectively identify key issues related to systems, policies, and practices that impact children, families, and communities of color across this region. Those most impacted by the issues will help call out and identify the root causes, including structural and systemic factors. 150 residents will partner with King County to develop strategies, solutions, and an action plan that explicitly addresses system changes needed and eliminates barriers to access for Black, Brown, and Indigenous folks. These residents will also identify the criteria used to measure our collective success. Simply put, we need your help as we do the work needed to make King County the safest in this country. It will take specific commitments from all of us, community members, our young people, elders, and leaders from the sectors all across this region. Together, we will get this work done. Please click the link below and sign up for a work group. Or you can recommend a co-facilitator from community for each work group. We look forward to hearing your ideas, concerns, feedback, and solutions as we build a community where all our children can be happy, healthy, hopeful, safe, and thriving.
Hey everybody, we all know that COVID-19 has had a major impact on everything this year, even energy bills. Puget Sound Energy understands the ongoing struggle that's facing its customers. And this is why they're offering a COVID bill assistance program of up to $2,500 per qualified customer. If you or anyone you know are currently behind on energy bills, please contact PSC today to discuss all of the assistance options available. Visit psc.com/COVID to learn more.
Hey guys, it's Besa Gordon from Converge Media. You can catch me on my show Rewind with Besa, which airs every other Saturday at 2 p.m. anywhere you watch Converge Media. Now, I know a lot of us still have questions about the COVID-19 vaccine. However, here are a couple things you don't have to question. Everyone 12 years and older in Washington State are now eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine. It's free and you...
1, 2. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Morning Update Show. I'm your co-host, Trey Holiday. And you guys know we had a lot going on in that commercial break, so we can make sure we're bringing on these amazing guests today. Joining me in the studio, Miss Vivian and Mr. Rico. What's up, y'all?
Hey, how are you?
Hello, lovely to be here.
Yeah, lovely to have y'all here. Well, I mean, we really are excited. I think so many people in community are beginning to see this Midtown building take shape and take form. And you guys have been involved in it really from the gate. This has been years in the making. Miss Vivian, how has this experience really been for you? Because it's a long time coming.
Well, you know, Rico has actually been involved much longer than I have.
Only a little bit.
Well, actually, 2 years, I think, before
Okay,
I
fine.
got...
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
That's why I was going to him next, because he's been longer.
And so I guess if a couple of things. Had it not been for the fact that Rico was involved, I would not have been involved, I'm certain. But the process since 2019 for me has been incredibly enriching. Seeing the art come to fruition the way that it is right now is mind-blowing for me, because I've been looking at it on paper since 2019, you know, and it's not all done.
Yeah.
I mean, only three of the 8 installations are in process right now. So I'm blown away.
Yeah,
I'm blown away.
I mean, really, and you know, Miss Vivian's right there, Rico. This has really been, I think, innovative project to a certain degree. I know Lake Union Partners, they were saying, look, we've never really done a project like this that has been so rooted in community. How has that been for you? Because you've really helped to, you know, expand that out and like, let's do something different with this space.
Yeah, so I was brought in, admittedly, in the middle of a process, right? Like an initial design had already been completed, and there was definitely a rift between developer and the community, and I was brought in to help build a bridge and to get to a better place. I think that we were able to do that, and I feel like part of my job has always been a little bit of the Robin Hood thing, right? Like you've got some folks that have access and privilege and are going to do a thing, and like how do you build a roadmap so that our people can like get involved, be supported, and like we can also express the rich value of community that we are. Yeah. And I think that we went from what was what I will call a standard program for a building that they were doing them South Lake Union, and they did two others like at 23rd and Union that did not involve community. And there was a real opportunity to do something different here.
Well, so much of this is about pushing the envelope, right? Changing what the status quo looks like. And I think one of the great things that comes out of projects like this is now there's a model. There's a model
right.
for how to do it that you can no longer say, well, we don't know, or it's never been done before. Now there's a model. So I want to dive in because I know we have some amazing photos and some little montages of a lot of this artwork. Ms. Vivian, I'll let you go ahead and walk us through some of the amazing art that's happening right there on the building.
So just to preface it, before we get into the description and the artist, I just want to say that the community engagement process that took place for 2 years prior to this art plan being developed is what set the stage for the art that is now a part of the plan. My role was to come in and to really kind of synthesize and codify all of the information that you all actually put together and to make it mean something. So the meaning turned out to be the theme for the artwork, which is reverence and discovery, meaning that we want to pay homage to the legacy of the community, and we also want to be inspired into the future. So with that, let's take a look at the artist. Let's start with Barry Johnson. Barry Johnson's work is we call it Location 1, the Northwest building, but you'll see his work that wraps across 23rd Avenue and around Union Street. Barry has called this the most important work of his artistic career. And I'm so excited that he's a part of this. It's just absolutely beautiful work that he's done. And that's just from the initial sketches that we saw. It looks a whole lot different from that now.
Yes. And if I can add to that, I mean, what we were able to open up through the community process, and Vivian bringing you in, was to actually make the building be a canvas for his work. And you'll see that in one of the other pieces as well. But just the idea that creating an iconic building, I mean, at such an important location for the community, and having that exhibit like Black pride and Black color, like as a part of what you experience even before you get to that intersection, I think was really important.
Wow.
And part of what Barry has done in his work is he has used all the colors that comprise the color black. And it's so vibrant and beautiful. Next up is Yegisaw Michael. And Yegi has done a piece that will frame the front of the 23rd and Union corner. So directly across from Uncle Ike's, not to do a plug for him. But anyway, there's a wooden installation that is also a historical timeline of the central area. Next up is Myron Curry. Myron is, look at that face. Look at that face. I adore him so much. But Myron is creating these pieces that really do embody reverence and discovery and inspiration. And the materials that he's using, he will be painting onto brick, and that's along the 23rd Avenue side of the building. And he's also using tile as a part of that. And then we've got Henry Jackson Spiker and KT Hancock. They are doing a lighting installation that is being installed in the, I guess we call it a passageway, a portal, an entry portal, off of 23rd Avenue. So just east of the corner of 23rd and Union is an entry portal into the main square, and that's where his light installation will be. And then, or I should say their light installation, KT and Henry. And then there's Takia T-Dub Ward. All right. Takia, you all, I think everybody in the city became much more aware of Takia and her work as a result of the Black Lives Matter mural at Capitol Hill during the Chop Chaz days. I have to give it both Chop and Chaz. But she is also doing a illustrative timeline that encompasses not only the indigenous presence in the central area, but brings us all the way through to Larry Gossett, for instance, as a representative of District 2, which is the central area. So she's incorporating imagery that is facial features and also some of the iconic locations and spaces and places that we know, Mount Rainier, Garfield High School, that kind of thing. And that is on the mural. It's a 120-foot mural that is inside the central square.
That'll be it'll be a backdrop for performance and for speaking engagements, and it's pretty amazing. It's almost done.
Yeah,
now.
she's getting real close to being done. I think when you see the video, you'll see a little bit, a sneak peek of that. And then it's Adam Jabari Jefferson, and his location is on the Union Street side. It is up. It is black and white. It is 3 panels, and it is called From Left to Right, Been Here, Neighborly Day, and Land, Earth, Legacy. Wow. So when you look at those 3 panels, you see folks who have been here. You see just the kind of, warm, welcoming, happy day. And then Land, Earth, Legacy, well, who anchors that? Mother Earth. Yeah. Dr. Maxine Mims.
Absolutely, rightfully so.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's 3 large pillars essentially right across the street from Liberty Bank.
Yeah. I mean I think that's really a big draw already right now. I mean you see Dr. Mims on the building. You're
I know, right?
And the great thing about it is that photo, I was at least able to be a part of that because I helped to curate the photo shoot for that photo. So it's like, you know what? It goes deep. It goes deep.
Yeah.
Everybody can see a piece of themselves.
I know. Right. That's the intent. Is for us all to see a piece of ourselves in that art. And then we've got Juan Alonzo Rodriguez. Juan's piece is going on the 24th Avenue portal. So there's another entryway off of Union Street at 24th into the main square. And his piece is 4 steel, and you might have to help me because he knows all the technical terms for this. But these pieces will be embraced onto the building, and they are hollyhocks. And the hollyhock semblance is of a plant that's really very popular in the central area, and it is very present in the garden at the James Washington House. So this piece is complementary to the return of the Fountain of Triumph, which is also going back onto the site that was done by James Washington Jr.
Wow.
So it's the only thing I would say about his piece, which is amazing. He came in, so we went through a community process and created a community review group that did both went through the initial applications and then did all the interviews. And when we got to the interview portion, he came in with a full-scale mock-up that went from floor to ceiling. Wow. Totally blew us away. And I mean, it's just, they're all amazing pieces.
Really, this entire process is so community driven. I know Africatown Community Land Trust was like really in the thick of this, working with Lake Union partners to say, you know what, how do we engage more and more of our community members? How do we go above the status quo with regard to, we only need to, touch community a couple of times? Well, no, let's look at this process and let's also bring people like yourselves. I know Mark Margot Jones. I mean, also there
right.
in this artist selection process. How do we have people that are from community being very engaged in this process? So I love to see how all of that effort, and me being on the inside in that regard, was able to see that, man, this was a lot of man hours put toward this. But this wasn't just something, like you said, 2 years in the making here, and even beyond, that really now is starting to flourish and people are able to experience it.
Yeah, and I do want to give a shout out to the process and the people who are involved in the process. But first, I want to complete this by going to Perry Roden's piece, which is a piece that will be painted on the brick wall, which is at the 24th Avenue portal. So it's near where Juan's piece is going up. And her theme is about breath. Giving life and breath to the building and to the people who will be coming through that entryway. But, and again, these are only representative from early sketches. And so when you see the final work, it'll be so much more vibrant and so much more detailed as well.
And Perry's piece, if I recall, I mean, that'll be the largest piece that she has done as a young artist. So like as an opportunity to bring her up and bring artists into a greater recognition of their work has been a great opportunity.
And so the beauty is that there is multi-generational representation of art and artist in this project. And again, I want to just be sure to say that the folks that made the selection, I didn't make the selection. Rico didn't make the selection. We set up the process, we facilitated the process, but Stephanie Johnson Tollover, Leilani Lewis, Ernest Thomas, Brace Evans, you're gonna have to help me out. Come on. Margot Jones. And I feel like I'm forgetting at least one other person. Forgive me for if I forgot you. But they dedicated 2 full days of review together of over 90 applications for the art. They debated and they whittled that down to 16 finalists. Then they spent another 2 full days in interviews with the finalists and made the final selection. So it is because of them that we've got this incredible building in addition to all of the wonderful artists who are represented there. So we will put a plaque up on that building that has all of those names on it and give them the homage that they deserve for the time they spent as well.
I do have to give Vivian props though, because I'm a recovering architect. 27 years I practiced architecture, and so on my end with union partners, we created, what is the art plan? Where are the opportunities? What are those locations? Communicated that to the city and the community. But Vivian brought breathed, is that a word? Life into that plan and that vision, and brought, everybody in this city. People came because of your vision and your association with this. So
this is a beautiful thing. And I know we have a little bit more of video too. I just want to be able to showcase to the folks some of what you guys can see right now on the building. Curtis, let's go ahead and show them some of this amazing artwork. This is beautiful. That right there is
that's Barry's pieces. And then there are Adam's pieces. And I just think there's we just missed it, but that is the entryway into the square, which is equivalent in size to the square that we're very close to here in Pioneer Square. There are lots of flora and fauna going into that square, as well as a big tree So it will also have life.
Tree of life. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the tree of life.
Well, I can't thank you guys enough for coming on to explain all this amazing art. I know we're going to keep in contact with you guys as more and more of these installations get put up. Just kudos to you guys and everybody who's been a part of this process to make sure that community voice is really at the center of this iconic location on 23rd and Union. I know I grew up right there, and so this is so important to all of us. Can't thank you guys enough for your work and your effort here.
Thank you so much.
Triana,
we
thank
really
you so much.
appreciate it.
Absolutely. You guys heard it from them, and there's so much more to cover as we see more and more art start to take shape right there on 23rd and Union, Midtown Plaza. You guys, I got to bring Big O back into the studio so we can close out the show properly for you. You guys are watching the Morning Update Show. Stay tuned.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, did it for the people, I did it for us.
Back on this rap ish, I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't miss my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own, tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.
There you go.
Hey, welcome everybody to the Morning Update Show. I'm your co-host, Trey Holiday. And before I bring Big O back in, we got to do this, Big O. We got to make sure that throwback gets in there,
Yeah,
right?
well, it's important because this is something, I want to play this here. This is something I filmed 3 years ago. And Rico and a lot of the people that you mentioned there in that segment are actually in the segment. And I mean, one, it's relevant because he was in the segment we filmed 3 years ago when he was actually working as an architect on the project. But two, it's always good to let people know that we've been doing this for years, well before protest and well before COVID. We've been covering things in our community. This clip right here goes back to 2018 when they were still just in the planning phase of Midtown. And I interviewed interim, well, he wasn't interim director then, he was an architect on the Midtown project. Maybe you could tell us about the different boards in the setup here.
All right, so what we heard from the community was some very specific interest around different areas on the site. So Program the Central Square was all about how we bring the community in and how we have a focus on African-American small business and growing our small businesses. Keeping the corners sacred at 23rd and Union, how we create an outdoor living room and hold that space, hold that corner as a place that is our space by the community and for the community. Open the portals, the connection getting from both 23rd Avenue and along Union, pulling people into the site, and how do we do that more effectively? One of the things that I'm most excited about, the Express the Central District. There had been a conversation early on about having 3 smaller art opportunities for the project. I have pushed the design team and the developer to grow that opportunity to have more of an impact for both expression of the culture of our community and the culture and history of the Central District, grown that from 3 opportunities to 8, which includes the entirety of the elevations of the building along 23rd and along Union. there's going to be a call for artists that comes out at the beginning of February, and then we're going to have a panel which is representative of our community to look at artist portfolios and proposals for that work. So I feel like we're making some progress.
Wow. I mean, that right there is exactly what they said they were going to be doing. And it's so great to be able to connect with them today and see how all of that is shaping up, man. That's a huge effort. And as we could see in that video, man, tons of community members coming out. You had young, old, even then, bringing their brilliance to bear in terms of what they wanted to see on this project.
Yeah, I mean, it's documented. That's why we want to make sure and get that video in here. That, like, you know, that was 3 years ago. And so when you see stuff like these art installations or even building designs and everything else, I mean, just know that people have been working on it and engaged in the process for a very long time. And also, this is something to tell you, a lot of things, these buildings going up across the city, find out, man, where these meetings are happening and be involved, make your voice heard, you know, get your voice involved in the design.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about this with the opportunity right now down there in Rainier Beach. We're going to keep you guys informed on that. But this right here are the opportunities that we're talking about. You know, back in the days when I was doing work around this stuff, they weren't looking at community-centric design. But now we got developers that are being intentional. Oh, and I love to see how it all shapes up. It's so beautiful.
All right, good stuff. We're a little bit over time now, but that video was well worth putting in there.
Absolutely.
Before we get out of here, any last words?
Man, you guys should be inspired by Vivian and Rico, who have seen themselves as part of the solution. Clearly, you know, Rico saying, even as an architect, he was pushing the lens, pushing the ideas and the innovation and the opportunities for community to be engaged. And then Miss Vivian coming in to do just what she does in terms of being a bridge builder to these projects and the artist community that she's so connected to. They both have seen themselves as part of the solution. You guys be inspired to see yourself as part of the solution.
Right. Don't forget, ballots are mailed out today. They're out there today. If you live in King County and don't get your ballot by Monday, you want to make sure and contact King County Elections. And as Director Wise said, don't be tardy for the party. Man, make sure, I mean, be involved in the process. We get a lot of people, man, you know what I'm saying? They got all these opinions on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that transcends over to your ballot and get out and vote. Like, for real. You know, we can't have 35% turnout in the primary election. This is a big election, especially here for Seattle. 2 city council members, the mayor, the city attorney, and a whole bunch of other stuff's going on, you know, around the county, port commissioner and things like that. On that note, we're going to get out of here tonight at 7 o'clock. Seattle News, Views, and Brews with Brian Callanan and the wordy and nerdy Kevin Schofield. You catch that at 7. But all that being said, here's a reminder. Go forward in your purpose. Go forward in your humanity. And until tomorrow at 11 a.m., peace.
Lift every voice and sing till earth in heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun.